Isn't there something you should be doing right now? You know, for example, the things you were specifically told to do.
Sheogorath is the Daedric Prince of Madness and a god that the fans go mad for. Ever since the Shivering Isles expansion for Oblivion was released, Sheogorath has been a fan favourite, and understandably so, as he is one of the most colourful, craziest, zaniest characters in all of Elder Scrolls. Even though there is heaps to tell about the Manic Prince, I'm going to narrow it down and tell you 5 insane facts about Sheogorath. Fact number 1, Sheogorath is basically responsible for the eruption of Red Mountain. The mad god Sheogorath once sent a celestial rock named Bar Dao crashing from the sky straight into the city of Vivec in Morrowind. However, naturally the tribunal god Vivec wasn't too happy about this and used a display of his power to hold the rock in place, just above the city. It was then hollowed out and turned into a prison for dissident priests called the Ministry of Truth. But what happened when the tribunal started to lose their power at the end of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind? Well, essentially, after failed attempts to keep the rock in place without Vivec's power, it crashed into Vivec, the city, destroying it and causing enough seismic activity to make Red Mountain erupt and destroy Vardenfell. So really, thanks to Sheogorath being the crazy bastard he is, the Dark Elves got severely screwed over. Fact number 2, Sheogorath beat Hircine, the Daedric Prince of Hunt, in a battle of beasts. Atop the frigid peaks of Skyrim, Sheogorath challenged Hircine to a battle. Both the Lord of Hunt and Lord of Madness were to each create a creature of their own design and pit them against each other on this very peak 3 years later. Hircine, as a master of beasts, got to work and created a horrific beast, a Daedoroth infected with the foul curse of lycanthropy. Its heart was black and its jaws were filled with jagged fangs. A creature so monstrous that even the greatest of hunters in Hircine's realm could not slay it, whereas the trickster Sheogorath revealed his terrific beast, a tiny, colourful bird. The Daedoroth immediately lurched forward and swung at the bird, destroying the stone on which it was perched upon. Yet the bird avoided a bloody death and perched itself along the snout of the beast, picking at the debris caught in the scales between its eyes. The monster furiously tried to rip the bird away, but ended up blinding itself in the process. For continuous hours, Hircine's monster clawed away at itself and exhausted itself to the tune of a tiny colourful bird, until its rage ended with its final breath. Hircine had been beaten and returned to his realm with shame as Sheogorath strolled down the mountain, cheerfully whistling in tune with the tiny bird's chirps. Fact number 3, Sheogorath is actually quite easy to summon. His official summoning day is the 2nd of Sun's Dawn, however he can also be summoned anytime there is a storm occurring or by offering a wolf or bear pelt to him. Perhaps he wants some new floor rugs. If you visit one of his shrines, offering yarn, lettuce and soul gems can also get this crazy Daedra to answer your call. Fact number 4, Sheogorath beat Vaymina, the Daedra Prince of Dreams and Nightmares, at her own game. Once again, Sheogorath engages in a fun little competition, toying with the lives of mortals. They agree to each spend 10 years making an artist named Darius Shano hated by the masses. Whoever does the better job wins the competition. So Vaymina the Dreamweaver manipulated Shano's dreams, revealing to him grotesque images of men being skinned and eaten alive, as well as inconceivable beasts of infinite mouths and limbs. Darius Shano took these images from his head and put them to paper, creating horrific pieces of art which the people found fascinating yet disgusting. His work was popular among some, which inspired more hatred from those who found the shocking material utterly abhorrent. Though Vaymina's time of manipulation came to an end, it was now Sheogorath's turn. Vaymina's dreams ceased to come to Darius, yet Sheogorath simply did nothing. Darius wondered why Vaymina no longer gave him dreams which he could make into art, and thus his art then became stale and his notoriety faltered. Feeling abandoned by Vaymina through the absence of her dreams, he developed a terrible resentment for gods, nobles, peasants, and basically everyone alive, inspiring him to make many written works spitting hatred for all. This eventually got him executed when he went too far, the crowds cheering as his head was lopped off. Vaymina felt deceived by Sheogorath. According to her, he had not lived up to his part of the bargain, as he never contacted the mortal once. Sheogorath had this to say: "Nonsense, I was with him all along. When your time ended and mine began, your whispers in his ear were replaced with silence. I severed his link to that from which he found the most comfort and meaning, and withheld the very attention the creature so desperately craved. Without his mistress, the man's character could ripen under resentment and hatred. Now his bitterness is total, and overcome by a madness fueled by his rage, he feeds me in my realm as an eternal servant." Sheogorath has quite the habit of besting other Daedra princes in competitions by hardly doing anything. Factor number 5, Sheogorath has many Daedric artifacts, first of which you would all be very familiar with. The Wabberjack is a staff belonging to the Mad Prince, which is often given as a gift for servitude. It causes a random effect on a target, ranging from turning them into a pile of coins, to fire damage, to shock damage, to turning them into a sweet roll. There's a massive list of potential effects. Second, we have another staff, the Staff of Everscamp. This staff causes a rather annoying result, fitting for an insane prince's artifact. Basically, it causes you to eternally be followed by 4 foul-smelling scamps. It's a staff that most would turn their nose up at. Next is the Fork of Horripilation, a funny little fork that causes your magicka to become stunted. Useful, huh? There is also the Spear of Bitter Mercy, a spear that can reflect spells and summon a Storm Atronach. Of course, there is also the powerful Staff of Sheogorath, which is used by the Daedric Prince himself. And finally, there is an interesting glove called Gamble Putty, which drains half the user's attributes and boosts the other half of the user's attributes. I wonder how many more crazy artifacts he has in his possession. Perhaps a spoon that summons a giant chicken. Subscribe for more insane facts about all kinds of Elder Scrolls lore, and like the video if you learnt something new, or if you just want more of these videos. I'm Scott from Fudge Muppet, enjoy your madness, and I'll see you next time.